Hey, this is Michael Janda. I'm here with Mario Quezada, and we're going to talk about how to handle client objections.
There's a multitude of client objections, right? But I'm gonna kind of dig into the client objection that is really about when they're already a client. When you come back to them with your precious logo, your precious design, your precious UX, and they're like, no, not feeling it. So really what I'm really kind of like talking about is really getting to the root of that objection. Clients may think that they hate your design, but what they hate is the hue of purple that you used. So really the important thing is building that communication and digging in deeply, again, bringing that empathy back, really knowing where they're at, digging into what they're objecting to, asking great questions and getting to the root of that problem. And that's going to help you bridge that gap from what they're really objecting to what you feel that they're objecting to get them to that point where they can really voice what they need.
Yeah, that's great advice. It's all about asking questions. It's not just, don't accept your client's blanket statement that, oh, this price is too much, blanket statement. Or this, I don't like these logos. I don't like any of these logos. Blanket statement, And clients do this. They don't know how to give detailed feedback because we haven't trained them on how to do that. So don't just take that rejection at face value. Get in there and start asking questions. Okay, well, I understand that you think that this price is too high. What price do you feel, what budget are you working with? Why do you feel that this price is too high? Have you gotten any competitive bids? What kind of return on investment do you expect to have from this? Because if they expect nothing in the return, then any price is too high. You have to start to try and get into the psychology of why they think the price is too high. Or, like you said, what is it that you don't like about these logos? Do you like this font or this font or this font? Do you like this color purple or this hue or this hue or this hue? Do you like this icon or that icon? You just start asking specific questions and you get away from these client objections of just these blanket statements of, I don't like this.
Yeah, I think that overarching statement is that key element that whenever you hear a blanket statement like that, that should kind of light that fire inside you saying, hey, I need to ask a ton of questions here because they're kind of telling you that they hate everything. They hate the baby and the bathwater. Yeah. And that's not true. It's most often 100% not true because what they don't like is the way you used the corner on that one L, or they don't like the color blue that you use because it reminds them of their grandma's whatever. And he hated his grandma, so like there's an emotional response to everything. We have to put ourselves in our client's place and even with price, really that you touched on that so brilliantly, Mike. If there's no return on investment, then no investment is going to be worth it to them because there's no return for them. So really, we have to just dig in and ask those really brilliant questions and know how to be a really key question asker.
Yeah. And that just takes practice. I mean, it takes practice. You can play the game 20 questions with yourself. So practice in your brain before the meeting. So look at your own logos and think, okay, I'm going to try and force myself to ask 20 questions to the client about these logos. What can I ask? Which fonts do you like? Which colors do you like? Which icon do you like? What do you think would make these better? You can just practice formulating questions in your brain before you go into the meeting can be super helpful to make you seem more experienced. Because that's, I think, to put myself in the shoes of people watching this, a lot of times designers are thinking, I don't even know what to ask. Well, you're never going to know what to ask if you don't start practicing asking questions. And it's better to practice with yourself in your brain than it is to practice in front of a live client who's paying you money.
Great. That's exactly the way you need to do it. You need to practice, and practice helps you be better, right? And I like to say practice makes permanent. It doesn't make perfect, because no one's perfect. But another great way to kind of unlock what your client may be thinking is showing your design and presenting your design to your peers and saying, "Hey, pretend like you're my client. Let's do a little role play. I'm not going to tell you anything about the project except that it's for Acme Soap Company or whatever. And here are the logos that I've come up with. I'm going to present as I present. And can you just give me every kind of objection that you can think of? Because they're going to come up with things that you can't think of in your brain. You're always going to yield towards certain aesthetics or things that are going to be easy for you to solve in your brain, I think. So when you ask complete strangers to the project, really not going out in the street and saying, "Hey, here's a soapbox. Can you show me what my logo means?" It's really about like getting to the heart of what these things are about. And if you ask somebody to give you honest feedback way before you get into your client meeting, you have a queue of objections that you've already worked through in your head. Yeah. So you've built in responses. And even if you haven't come up with the same exact objection that your client has come up with, you've practiced responding to those objections many times. That helps you to kind of respond in kind.
Really, really good advice. And I think I'll say just one closing thought on rejection. Sometimes it doesn't even have anything to do with the work. Sometimes your client has decided before they even see the logos that they're not going to like anything. And what they really don't like is that they're spending money on a logo. That's their mindset. There's like they have some kind of angst built up that they're having to buy a logo for their business because they feel like it's not worth their time, or they're spending it out of emergency, or panic in their business. There's just all kinds of different reasons. And so sometimes it doesn't even have anything to do with the work. Sometimes they don't like the designer you have working on it because they just had a weird vibe with them. Sometimes they don't like the way it smells in your office. I mean, there could be just a myriad of different reasons why a client is going to give you a blanket rejection on something. And so you're never going to know those things unless you start digging in and asking. So get in there, ask the questions, practice answering questions before you get in the meeting. All these things are super great tips.
Yeah, stay prepared. Prepare as much as you can. Over-prepare, because that means you're going to be at least adequately prepared for going into any kind of situation. Yeah.
And you and I can talk about this because we've been doing this a long time. You'll get to a point where you have so many little nuggets in your toolbox that you don't need to prepare in advance. Like I can sit down with a client with no prep, open up somebody else's logos and talk a client through it and resolve their objections because I've been in that meeting so many times. So this is just, these are good tips for people starting out, but at some point in your life, you're going to just have done this so many times that you're not going to need to practice so much in advance. But until then, practice and get yourself prepped.